Good afternoon. This is Father Jose Ramirez from the parish of St. Elizabeth in Gooding, Idaho, and also from Wendell and Shoshone. My brothers and sisters, today we received the announcement from our governor that the extension for the stay-at-home order will be until April 30. And I just wanted to share with you a couple of the announcements that I would like to share in response to this announcement of the governor today. Because of this extension, many of our programs that we had will be farther affected as well. Since there's probably no possibility to open this before April 30, we have to have the the month of May as a month that will help us to catch up, if you can put it in that way, uh, in the preparation for the other sacraments. So that would mean to catch up with the with the first communions and also with the confirmation. Before, the bishop had told us that we would have the delegation to confirm those youth and others that are preparing for confirmation, uh, and this day would be May 31st. So we are no longer doing confirmations on the early May, but we're going to do them on May 31st for the youth. That's a Sunday, and that's also the Sunday of Pentecost. And then for the adults, some we have a couple of adults that are doing their confirmation. Then for them, it would be the previous night, Saturday the 30, that the vigil of Pentecost. So that is the first change, but that would mean that we would probably meet again in May with the youth and the adults for confirmation to catch them up in the classes of confirmation. Again, that is pending if we are able to open on in at that time. The second thing is for announcement is for First Communion. We had our First Communion scheduled for May 17th, but again, because of this extension, we want to take advantage of the month of May to catch up also the young people for the First Communion. And especially we're talking about the First Communion class, the ones that were doing the First Communion this year. So basically, the the day for the First Communion will not be May 17 any longer, but I am thinking about moving that date to June, and a tentative date for June. And again, the key word here is tentative. The tentative day to June is June 7th. That it would be the tentative date, but I will let you know more about that. But what is for sure is that May 17 for First Communion is no longer a date for that those communions would take place. Now, so those are the two announcements I'd like to share with you about confirmation and First Communion for those parents that are asking questions about those sacraments. Another announcement is about just in general, as you may know, the church is closed. The church building, not the church, the body of Christ, but the church building is closed, as well as the office. So during this time, um, the office is closed. I regularly check the phone, but many of the petitions or many of may have to wait until farther notice. We don't have anyone working in the office right now, and we don't have office hours. And as I mentioned, I do check the couple of messages regularly. Um, but if there's nothing pressing, then those probably would have to uh, wait until we reopen the church. And what it is pressing are matters of life and death, literally speaking. Many of us have notions of what it means to what this means, life and death. But the reality is that we will only administer the sacraments for those situations that are life and death situations, and with the necessary precautions. So basically, if a person is actively dying, that they no longer have, um, they only have a couple of hours because that has been determined left. That's a case we're talking about. Um, some of us may have chronic illnesses, or we may, but that is something that would ask if you are able to wait for until we're fully restored, or not even fully, but when we are restored in some way, so that we may be able to minister to those sacraments to those with chronic illnesses as well. So, my brothers and sisters,